to this calculator to show you how the calculator works now that we have a couple more genes. So it's going to automatically put HRA, Mojave, and Blackhead into the one side of the calculator because that's the snake we're looking at. But if you click on it, it'll pull up all the different genes that you can edit to calculate something new for yourself. So let's say we'll leave this snake as is, but on the other parent side, and this is basically you want to calculate this. This is for if you decide to breed this snake, what the pairings can be. Let's just say we want to do Mojave. Click Mojave and then hit calculate. So you're going to have one parent that has HRA Mojave Blackhead and one parent with Mojave. This is going to give you the probabilities of all of the offspring and what the percentages are. Typically, I like to sort it by percentage, like what am I most likely to get out of it. And there are 4 different possibilities that are at the top of the list. Single gene Mojave, because you have both parents with the Mojave gene, a blackhead Mojave, HRA Mojave, and a blackhead HRA Mojave. And then it just goes down the line from there. The other cool thing about doing this is you can, over on this side where it shows the morph name, you can click on this and it'll bring you up to a list of every snake that has all of those genes. So I clicked on Mojave Blackhead HRA and it's showing me a list of every snake with all 3 of those genes. And this list is only 11 snakes. And because there's only 11 snakes and only 3 of them are still for sale, as I was saying before, it starts showing you some of the snakes that were previously sold with those 3 genes. And as you can see here, you know, they basically, there's one from 2016, a couple from 2016, a couple from 2018, but there haven't been a lot of them. So, you know, there's a male currently available for 600 and another one with a couple genes in it for 1,000. And if you hover your mouse over it, it'll actually show you all the genes that the snake has. But this is a very cool way to, if you're trying to get into breeding and you're looking at snakes and figuring out what you want to buy, this is the perfect way to look into that and see visually what happens when you mix all those genes together. There aren't, when these are blacked out and they don't have a blue hyperlink, this means that there aren't any recorded combinations on MORPHMARKET of all these genes. So there haven't been any recorded Super Mojave Blackhead HRAs. That's most likely for 2 reasons. Super Mojaves, there's really no point in trying to breed other genes into them because you can't see any of those genes because it's a blue eye Lucy. It's not true for all blue eye Lucies, but really anything with lesser in it, in a blue eye Lucy combo, and Super Mojaves, butters as well. They're usually all white snakes. Super Mojaves have a little bit of a lavender gray head, but you can't see any other genes in it. So it's possible that people aren't breeding this because there's no point to, because you can't see the genes, or maybe it was bred, but there was no way for the breeder to identify those genes in the snake. But it's easier to tell when you are dealing with a Super Mojave and a single gene like Blackhead. And usually the way you can tell that is if you're breeding 2 Mojaves together and one of them is Super Blackhead. Obviously, all of those snakes' offspring are going to have 1 copy of Blackhead. So that's really the only way to know if you're Super Mojave or Mojave Lesser or Super Butter or Super Lesser, if they have an extra gene, is if one of the parents was super for a different gene, you know, banana, pastel, blackhead. That's the only way to tell if any of these blue eye Lucies have those extra genes in it. So let's go back and switch to a different gene. Let's do Enchi, because there's a lot of Enchis, and Enchis mix with a lot of stuff. And let me pick something. Super Orange Dream, Enchi. Let's see here. And this one has a lot of genes in it. So this is listed as yellow belly, pastel, enchi, lesser. So it's a 4 gene animal. Beautiful. Let's go to calculate, and let's just type enchi in here. Let's stick with enchi gene. Oop, that's not how you spell enchi. Calculate, and then you have 24 possible offspring from this combo, which is a lot. And the odds of hitting any of these are very slim, so much to the point that you can look at some of the offspring and it'd be pretty neat, but you have no idea what's coming out of this. I mean, you could technically hit a normal, which is down here, and you have just as much of a chance of hitting a normal as you do have hitting a lesser pastel, yellow belly, or single gene, or well, single gene enchi. You have a little more probability because both parents have enchi, but you have the same probability of hitting a normal as you do any of these other genes here, any gene combos. Now it's not very high; it's only 3%, and if you hit a normal out of this combo, considering you have 5 different genes working around, you'd have pretty bad odds. Um, but because there's so much going on and you're not working with any super genes, it's very hard to hope that you get any of these genes out of this. But what you can do is let's look here. Let's look at the only, I think there's like one, yeah, there's only one 5 gene combo. When you have a super form, they count them as 2 genes. So if we have super enchi, lesser pastel yellow belly, let's click on that. And there have only been 2 snakes listed, it looks like, and they're both sold. So there are none of those available. So let's go back. Let's see, super enchi. Let's do pastel yellow belly. All right, so there were some of these recently, some recent sales. There are quite a few of them, not quite a few, what, 6 available. And looks like this one's a clown. So you can combine all the genes you want, and you can edit this as many times as you like. You can put any genes you want to in there and see the odds of, you know, what you can get out of it. So for instance, let's take something in my collection, for example, and I'll make it very easy at first here. I have my ivory leopard to my ivory enchi, and there's not a whole lot of combos you can get from that. And that's why I'll make it simple for you. Ivory is super yellow belly. So ivory leopard and ivory enchi. Ivory enchi. So basically, in this combo, everything is going to be ivory. So that takes all of that out of the equation, all of the guesswork. And so there's a 25% chance of hitting basically 4 different combos I can get out of this pairing. I either get ivories, ivory enchis, ivory yellow bellies, or ivory leopards, or ivory enchi leopards. And I can see what all of these go for, and how many are listed. Ivory enchi leopards, I don't believe there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's only, what, 5 for sale right now. They're a fantastic looking snake, and they're kind of a big ticket item, so I have a 25% chance of hitting that in this combo. Ivory leopards, there's going to be quite a few more. There's 144 listed on here. I bet you some of those are probably sold. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of them are sold actually. So you can keep going down the list. I like to work with supers if I can because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, and it guarantees you to not get any normal snakes. And from a business perspective, I don't want normals because you know, their value is low, and I'm trying to make money off of breeding them, so I want to work with supers as often as I can.